Tonight on KGW News, a weather impact alert.
Look, if you're planning on being outside, know that it's going to be hot, people.
How long this heat wave could have us hovering above 100. Plus,
4 years was not long enough. He was only 4.
a grief-stricken couple calls for change after their beloved pet died on a plane before it even left the tarmac. Then standing strong like a sail, or perhaps curving gracefully, how you can weigh in on the design for a new Burnside Bridge. Then later on Pacific Storyland,
it might save someone's life, right? You never know, right? Hopefully.
how 2 local firefighters who had nearly identical heart attacks are sounding the alarm to save lives. A very good evening, and we begin at 11 with the first heat wave of the summer headed our way. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco. Right now it's looking like we could see several days in the triple digits, so we have team coverage tonight, starting with Chief Meteorologist Matt Zafino with more on what we are calling a weather impact alert. Matt?
Yeah, that's right, David. We just started doing this week where we're highlighting days where the weather is at least inconvenient and at most dangerous, and we're headed in that direction for several days here. So instead of having our normal blue bars on the 7-day forecast, we'll color them red when we really want to get your attention and point out these weather impact alert dates, of which now we've got basically 4.5. Thursday afternoon, I've added Monday to it because we're still going to be above 95 on Monday. The hottest day looks like Saturday, up to about 105. But above 100 on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and still at 97 on Monday. So this is a very long duration of hot weather, and it's bookended by another day in the 90s on Tuesday of next week. We'll see how that one shakes out, right? So here's what you need to know about the weather impact alert. It's the hot weather Thursday through Monday, right? It's excessive heat. That's what we're talking about. That's the impact on all of us, and you need to stay hydrated, be on the lookout for heat-related illnesses like heat stroke, all of which is possible when it gets this hot for this long. Make sure you take care of people around you, your family, of course, but also your neighbors, the elderly, your pets, your plants. Make sure everybody stays hydrated because this hot weather will dry things out incredibly rapidly. So we're under an excessive heat warning for the Willamette Valley here and the Gorge, Southern Oregon, an excessive heat warning for Jackson, Josephine, and parts of Curry County, but also a fire weather warning down there too because of the hot, dry conditions that we're all going to be contending with. So record heat in the hundreds Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday's forecast of 105. We've only hit 105 or higher on 14 days in the entire weather record of Portland going back to the late 1930s. We also may see some record warm or hot overnight low temperatures, David, too. So this is going to be something we're all going to have to endure together. More on the latest of this in a bit. Back to you.
Yeah, here it comes. Thank you, Matt. Meanwhile, local officials are rolling out their first round of warnings now with a message that now is the time to get prepared. Alma McCarty continues our team coverage. Alma?
Yeah, David, for many, these record highs are just going to be uncomfortable. But for many others, older adults, younger children, people who are living and working outside, people with underlying health conditions, and those with low incomes, all are vulnerable. And the heat could be dangerous. Beginning the 4th of July and spanning at least 4 days, Portland's first heat wave of the summer.
Any individual that has any sort of like threshold or difficulties with heat, they've got to be aware that it's coming.
If possible, staying indoors in air-conditioned spaces is best, especially during the hottest parts of the day. Rick Graves with Portland Fire and Rescue stresses the importance of planning ahead.
Do so by making sure that you're hydrated. If you're planning on activities, try to plan those in the morning rather than in the afternoon and early evening when we're going to have peak heat. Get yourself taken care of and ready to just relax and rest during the extreme hot times during the day.
Over the last couple of years, the city's installed more than 9,000 AC units through the Cooling Portland program, a game changer for vulnerable populations.
As I mature in age, I'm not able to handle the heat as well as I did when I was younger.
But don't rely on this program if you're seeking out an AC for this heat wave. Applicants may be scheduled for installation later this summer or even early fall.
This isn't an emergency response program. This is a climate resilience program, and then if there's an extreme heat event, the city, the county, and other partners have other approaches to deal with emergency response.
Multnomah County has yet to open cooling centers, but officials are preparing to do so if needed. They'll make a final call the morning before they open.
course, have been paying attention to the weather forecast and want to do everything we can within our control.
Meantime, organizers of outdoor events like the Waterfront Blues Festival downtown are thinking ahead.
We'll have free water refill stations at the festival. We have misting stations back for popular demand. We are working with the Marriott across the street, and they're opening up their second floor to be a chill center for our fans.
Those fans can also bring in personal-sized umbrellas and empty or factory-sealed water bottles.
Plan accordingly such that you're hydrating well prior to going, and maybe make sure you're hydrating while you're out in public, whether it be the Blues Fest, out on your hike, or whatever.
You know, one of the things you want to know, whether you are staying in or heading out, are the signs of a heat stroke or heat exhaustion. Heat stroke being the more serious of the two, but they share some symptoms, including heavy sweating, dizziness, and a rapid pulse. You will want to get cool right away, hydrate, and in the instance of a heat stroke, call 911 immediately. We will have more information on KGW.com. For now, David, back to you.
Yeah, it never hurts to know the signs and to be prepared. Thank you, Alma. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. Rising fire dangers are prompting officials to enact new burn bans. A ban went into effect Monday morning in Washington County, and one has been issued for all of Multnomah County, including Portland city limits today. Clackamas County kicks in tomorrow, and Clark County will be under one starting on Friday. That means no campfires, fire pits, or open burning, though you can still use your grill. As if to prove a point, crews in Forest Grove in Washington County were called to put out a field fire today they say was caused by someone burning debris on their property. Investigators looking into a deadly Vancouver police shooting say the suspect had an airsoft replica gun that looked like a real weapon. This is a picture of that airsoft gun. The update came today from the Clark County Sheriff's Office, which was reviewing the deadly shooting of 40-year-old Jonathan Nelson and was recorded by police body camera. Nelson was killed by officers June 17th near Northeast 28th and Andreessen. There had been reports Nelson was pointing the gun at people in a McDonald's parking lot. Officers fired after they say Nelson also pointed the gun at them. And Multnomah County wants help deciding what the new Burnside Bridge will look like. So here are the design options on the table right now. A tiered arch structure, rather a tied arch structure, looks a little bit like the Fremont Bridge, and a cable stay bridge that more closely resembles the Tillicum Crossing. When this is complete, this will be the first earthquake resilient bridge downtown. Portlanders have until the end of this month to answer questions about their preferred design in an online survey. Developing tonight, a Southern Oregon family is speaking out after their dog died on an airplane while they were taxiing for takeoff in Honolulu. Gary and Angie Engelgau and their pets were in the process of moving back to Oregon from Hawaii. On Sunday, when temperatures were in the 80s, they say they were asked to take their French bulldog named Frank out of his carrier to cool him down, and they were told no, both in the airport and once they were on the plane.
Hawaii is not dog friendly, and you are not allowed to have them out of the carrier at all in the airport, except in the Pet Relief Airport.
Once on board the Alaska Airlines flight to Portland, and before takeoff, they noticed Frank had stopped breathing. Alaska told us it's aware of the incident, and while it's saddened by the loss, the crew followed protocol by not allowing dogs out of carriers during taxi, takeoff, and landing. The Engelgals say they're hoping to raise awareness and spark some sort of change. Straight ahead on KGW News at 11, they spend their careers saving lives.
We tend to not take care of ourselves as well as we should. We're always taking care of others first.
How two Portland firefighters caught off guard by a medical scare are making sure their colleagues have the warning they never got. Plus, a community of crafters rallies around a business hit by vandals. Stick around.